Welcome to Commander's Comments. I'm your producer for the evening, Harrison F. Daws, and I'm joined by our Commander in Chief, Walter D. Donnie Kennedy, our Chief of Heritage Operations, Paul C. Graham, and of course, our past Chief of Heritage Operations, Mr. Ron Kennedy.
Thank you a lot, Moose. I appreciate you. Harrison, as you all know, is our Deputy Chief of Heritage Operation. He wears many hats in the organization, and one of his most important hats is that he is our videographer, among other things. And he and Connor do a great job, and we all appreciate them so much. And we'll get to talk about a little bit about some of his activities this past weekend at our annual homecoming pilgrimage in Columbia, Tennessee. So, and I believe, Harrison, you've got some photos that we can show about that, do you not? Good,
Yes, sir.
good. All right. First thing first, I want to thank our Chief of Heritage Operation, Paul Graham, for being on the program with us. We're going to get him to say a few words. And Ron Kennedy, the past Chief of Heritage Operation and our current chairman of the 21st Century Confederate Heroes Project, and I'm going to have asked him to give us an update there. But number one on the list is our good friend from Texas, Machael Hurley, Commander Machael Hurley of the Texas Division. I think y'all going to have a little party down there in Houston for us in July. It's called a reunion of the Sons of Confederate Veterans. And Commander Hurley, if you would, just give us a little update, please, sir.
Yes, sir. We are so excited about the 130th annual reunion and being able to visit right here in Texas with so many of our compatriots whom we've learned to cherish our relationship with over the years. A couple of quick points. First, please, if you're planning on attending the reunion, we're coming close to sellout on both of the major tours. The tour to San Jacinto, I've got 20 spots left. And the tour to Galveston to see the battlefield there in Galveston, I've got 22 spots left. So if you have an intention of registering and attending either one of those, I'm quite sure they're going to sell out. The maximum we can hold is right at 100. So please make sure that you're jumping on there and getting a spot before they're gone. Also, Commander Kennedy, I got one notice from one of our compatriots in Oklahoma. They had difficulty in reserving a room. I checked, and we do have rooms available at the host hotel, and I can add additional rooms. What he was looking for was a king-size bed, and so I had to make an adjustment there. But just be aware, if you have any issues getting a hotel room, if you'll contact me through the SCV 130.com website, it comes straight to me, and I try to answer very quickly. And then lastly, I said this before, but I can't stress enough, if you're going to choose to fly into Houston, please fly into Houston Hobby Airport, not Houston George Bush. Hobby is on the same side and just a few miles from the hotel site. George Bush is on the total opposite side and all the traffic that goes with it in Houston. So if you have an opportunity, please fly into Hobby. Register for everything as soon as you can because several items are filling up. And I'm glad to report that we're needing extra hotel rooms than we anticipated. So good news all around.
Thank you a lot. I really appreciate it. Now, approximately how many you think we have registered now? Just a ballpark figure, you think?
Yes, sir. I'm looking right at 272, I believe is the count I had this morning.
And this is May. So that is good. You'll usually get a rush come June and July.
Oh, good.
July.
We're ready.
So I like you said, Michael, if people want a good room and a slot or a place on one of these tours, they better grab them now because they will fill up. The tour to the battlefield at San Jacinto, how far is that from the hotel?
Yes, sir. That's the closer of the two tours. It's about a 20-minute drive from the hotel. We are going on air-conditioned buses over there. And I was at San Jacinto yesterday. By the way, I know y'all don't realize how big Texas is, but it's a 5-hour drive from my house to San Jacinto. But I went down yesterday, visited with them, and the curator is going to be pulling several artifacts that we chose yesterday that are all related to the war between the states. So there were quite a number of significant participants in the Battle of San Jacinto who later fought for the Confederacy, and they're pulling out uniforms, swords, manuscripts, even a lock of hair of one of our Confederate colonels. So it's not only going to be a Texas tour, but San Jacinto, of course, is, but also related to the war that came after.
Well, we sure appreciate you. We appreciate all the work that, and anybody that's ever been involved anywise in putting on one of these events, either division level or especially national level, it's more than a one-man job. It is a team effort. And I want to thank Michael and your staff. Also, we have a staff of the SCV, and Chuck Rand is involved in it, and several other people. I can't go over all their names now, but they are all actively involved. They're behind the scenes. We never see them. So, these things don't just happen. They're not mushrooms, are they, Michael?
Not at all. There's no way this could be done if it was just me. And Chuck Rand's been a big help. In fact, several members of the National Committee, Time and Place Committee, have been a huge help. And then, of course, all the men that have joined me from the Texas division. Could not do it without them.
Good enough. Well, we appreciate your update, and we'll have you back probably in June and July to give us some final updates. So keep in touch and keep the good work up, and God bless Texas. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. We'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Yes, all right. I tell you, I'm looking forward to that. I've been at the battlefield there at San Jacinto once, and I was there when the Dreadnought Texas was there, and I don't think it'll be open when we're there, but it is something to see. All right, upcoming events. I don't have anything right now that I can talk about other than we got the reunion. There's several division reunions coming up. I know the Kentucky, I'm looking here, the Kentucky reunion is May the 17th, and I believe the Louisiana, is that not right, Ron? Yeah. The Louisiana reunion is on the 17th. Harrison, when is Mississippi having their
Mississippi's reunion is always the weekend after Jefferson Davis's birthday. So this year it is June 7th and 8th.
Okay, good. And Paul, do you happen to know when South Carolina
is their division meeting?
Yes.
I don't off the top of my head.
Right. Well, I don't either. I wished I did, and I'm sure we'll get somebody. Charles LeRae just said, Louisiana's next weekend. You're right. Absolutely. Don't tell me those people down in South Louisiana can't read a calendar.
They can read it.
So that's great. All right. Let's see. We had our homecoming and pilgrimage this past weekend at at headquarters, and it was a great event. Now, the weather was absolutely horrid. It was almost near tornado at some time. Matter of fact, when our keynote address was being given, everything was on the inside, at the inside of the museum. I happened to look out the window as Ron was giving the keynote address, and it really looked like tornadic type winds blowing out there. And but we were all safe and secure. We had a nice crowd of people inside. We had floral arrangements that was contributed, and a lot of good people talking and meeting and pressing the flesh. We really had a good time. Now, I believe, Harrison, we've got some photos. I want to show the folks of, let's start out with the people who brought greetings. We had greetings from the UDC, the MOS, OCR. Okay. That lovely lady is Kayla, of course, Southern. That's our executive director's wife, Kayla, and she brought greetings for the United Daughters of the Confederacy. And I made a statement there to the crowd, and I've said this several times, that when Ron and I were just little kids in Hazelhurst, Mississippi, I remember going by the Confederate monument there, and my dad was talking about his grandfather was one of those soldiers that was represented on in that monument. I did not know at the time, but subsequently I found out there were at least one or two African-American Confederate veterans from that area. Ron, do you remember the gentleman's name?
Yeah,
Well,
it'll come to me tonight at around midnight.
probably so. But anyway, the interesting story about
Divinity.
Divinity. Howard
was-
Howard Divinity was his name.
yes.
And
Yes.
and there was an article written in I think it was a New York newspaper about Howard Divinity in 1923. I'm looking that up now, but the article itself talks about him being a Confederate veteran from that era, from that area, and how the veterans of World War I from Copiah County and that area, when they had a veterans reunion in out on the West Coast, I think it was in Los Angeles, they collected money and took Howard with them as an honored guest, as a fellow veteran. Now, this is the World War I vets taking care of a Confederate vet and making sure that this African American was taken with them and had all the honor of any other veteran. And it just shows how much our history is not being taught correctly, or people would know about these things.
Donald, there was also two Choctaw Indian units raised out of Copiah County and sent down to Camp Moore in Louisiana, which is right south of Macomb, right across the state line, where they were trained. So not only African Americans, but also Native Americans from that area.
Correct. And this is something that we need to be busy telling people about, because as we'll talk about here in a few minutes, there are people who are trying to tell the other side of the story. Also, we had a lady that gave brought greetings from the Order of the Confederate Rose. Do we have her? Do you recall her name? I don't have it written down here, and I'm ashamed that I didn't write it down. I thought I had it, but anyway, she brought greetings from the Order of the Confederate Rose. And then we had another fellow you may recognize him, bring greetings from the Military Order of the Stars and Bars, and that's the guy hiding behind the flowers there, Jason Boshears, past Commander-in-Chief Jason Boshears. And the flowers there are just some of the floral donations that was being made during that time. Now, a lot of other things was going on at the convention, and I want to show a picture of Tom Woods. Do we have a picture of Tom there? Now, Mr. Woods here is being presented his certificate and his medal as a member of the 21st Century Confederate Heroes. He was a recent member, just joined, and he came to the event. And since he came to the event, instead of just mailing him his medal and his certificate, we went ahead and presented it to him there. So Ron, myself, and of course Adam Southern, our executive director, we presented Mr. Woods with this. And this is just to point out that, and I wanted to just show you that in order to let you know that the 21st Century Confederate Heroes Project is an ongoing project. It is not stopped. Ron, is that not the case? You're the chairman of that committee.
Yeah, that is the case. And that's something I want to ask everyone when you're going to your division meetings, to make sure that you promote the 21st Century Confederate Heroes campaign. We have raised the money to take care of the mortgage, so that debt's behind us. We're about 80% or 90% of the money necessary to get the Forest Plaza put back in place. And if everyone will get with us and work with us, we'll be able to get that taken care of. And by this time next year, we'll be planning a big party there at Elm Springs, celebrating the fact that not just in Columbia, Tennessee, but all across the South, they take them down, but we put them up. And we've put up more flags, parks, and monuments. We've saved and restored more monuments than the neo-Marxists have been able to take down. And like I said in my talk, the dog the fox has turned and is running the dogs. So the dogs of neo-Marxism being run by the foxes of the neo-Confederates. So we want to keep the pressure on them. Like General Forrest said, put the scare on and keep the scare on. So that's that. We can only do that if our people will continue to work with us. Let me give you a little bit of data. Donald and I have been busy contacting the folks that contributed to the 21st century to make sure they had all of their the information they need. As a matter of fact, Harrison, I sent Forrest Daws an email. I don't know if he told you about it or not, but I sent out emails to everyone, giving them the forms and samples of the book page and the PowerPoint that you'll need. Also, and Donald, we should have put that Rumble email or URL so he could have sent it out, but so people can look and see. It's a video that Donald and I did explaining how to use these forms. But I wanted to make this point. Out of 193 people who have now we got Donald. When did we get that list? Yeah, I asked him. Now he's trying to remember.
January, wasn't it?
It was in January.
January,
so anyone that has signed up since January, you weren't on the list. So I'll try to follow up and with headquarters, see if anybody else needs contacted. But we wanted to make sure that everyone who had contributed or who are paying, that they have all the information that they need. And some people,
okay, Ron, you froze.
Do what?
You froze. There, go ahead now.
All right, but at any rate, so out of 193 Confederate 21st century heroes, 23 of that 193 did not give us their email address. So if you're one of the 23 without an email address, I wasn't able to get a hold of you. And there was 3 email addresses that bounced back as being undeliverable. So, and that happens at any time you have that large number. So if you didn't get any information from Donald or I, you can always get a hold of us and we'll
Looks
see.
like Ron's having more trouble than I'm having up in North Louisiana. The main thing that he is stressing here is if you did not get an email from Ron, please let us know. Now, the people who did not have an email address more than likely are not listening to this, or probably not computer savvy. So that means in your SCV camps, listen to your membership. If you have a member that is not email savvy and that he is, quote, paid for the 21st century but hadn't received anything, please let us know. You can either email Ron, email myself, and say compatriot so-and-so at this address and telephone number needs to be contacted. But we have to have a telephone number or a hard U.S. mail. So what Ron
is back on?
Yes, you're back on it.
Okay, because the video kept going, but I couldn't hear. I didn't know I was going down. Also, camps. There was 45 camps. Now, this is something that I'm really embarrassed about. How many camps do we have in the Confederation, Donald?
Over 800.
And only 45 camps have stepped up. So camps, step up and become a member. Help us get this plaza finished, because after we get the plaza finished, we've also got the Brooks Fund to pay off. And Donald, if I freeze, give me the high sign and I'll let you take over. But at any rate, we got the Brooks Fund we want to pay off. But also remember, the 3 things we said we were going to do is pay off the bank mortgage, get the plaza going, and initiate a massive pro-South public relations campaign. And we can do that if our people will continue to help us with this 21st century campaign. Now, I've got this little pamphlet, and it says, "I need you to join the 21st Century Confederate Heroes." I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring
Yes.
it back here.
Yeah, you can see it.
But at any rate, I will be giving these out at the national reunion. I'm going to take some with me to the Louisiana division meeting. Donald's going to take some up to Kentucky. And Donald, if Moose doesn't have any, be sure to send him some. Do you have, Paul, do you have any?
I do.
Okay. So and give them out. You know, it doesn't matter if they say, well, I don't know if I would take it anyway. Talk to your camp. Let's see if we can get more camps to join up. If we can get another 40 camps to sign up, well, we're probably going to need about another 80 camps to sign up, and we'll be topped out with the Forest Plaza. So we really need you to get in there and work with us. There was some people who didn't pay the $1,000, but they're on what I call the easy payment plan. There was 39 of those, and 6 of those did not have an email address. So if you're, and remember, you don't have to write a check for $1,000 or put it on your credit card, $1,000. You can do a little bit, do 100 down. You get your medal. You get your medal and you get your certificate, and you just keep paying it off until you get that $1,000 paid off. I know Donald and I have done each one, and we've got another one that we're doing for John Wesley Kennedy, our ancestor, our great-grandfather, who we were just speaking about. But we're paying that off a little bit at a time, easy payment plan. So you can become part of it. But if you make sure those of you who are having division meetings, get some of the headquarters has more of these. So get some of these and give them out. I went around and gave them to everybody I could find when I was at just a camp meeting in Lafayette, Louisiana. And oh, by the way, Donald, I see that Charles Leray in Opelousas says that his relative was from Kentucky County too. So that's funny. We got the poor old fellas in the bayous that they stuck with us rednecks too. You know, with blood relatives. We are family. All right, that's my part.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm again, to reiterate just a little bit, the 21st Century Confederate Heroes is one of the things that made possible for other donors, benefactors, to become involved, because they saw that we were willing to belly up to the bar and do that which was necessary. And that was one of the many things. All the people who, before the 21st Century Confederate Heroes project started, they also was responsible because they had already been putting money into the Forest Plaza, the museum debt, etc. So all this together, we've had some benefactors that have looked at that and said, you people are serious. We feel comfortable in now putting out some big bucks and matching what you're doing. So if you want the matching funds to continue, we've got to continue our effort. Now, Ron, I'm going to talk about here in the next section here a little bit about the Brooks Fund and what we're doing with that. So if somebody, Ron, don't let me forget, but we want everybody to realize we are working. This 21st Century Confederate Heroes thing is continuing. There are people out there just like Tom Woods that are joining. Moose, we've got a picture of the Kentucky boys. You have that picture. Let's show that. They're giving a check there. There you go. The Kentucky boys there, they give them a check. I think this, if I'm correct in this, I believe I was told this is about the second or third time they've made $1,000 donation annually to the museum and the Kentucky division. They're not a real huge division, but yet they've got a big heart and they're working hard and they're putting things together. And I just appreciate the heck out of the Kentucky boys. We appreciate that. And not only what you're doing now, but what you've done in the past. And we know it will continue in the future. And it's people seeing what we are doing, whether it's Tom Woods, whether it's the Kentucky people, or we've got another one coming up here. I believe we have one in Suffolk, Virginia. You got a picture of the gentleman there, Tom Howell, and his boys in Suffolk, Virginia. Moose is trying to find it. I sent it to you, Moose. You lost it in the mail. Well, anyway, I want to shout out to them. It's a Tom Smith camp in Suffolk, Virginia. Tom Howe is the commander, and they had a $1,000 check. They have joined the Confederate Legion also. I'm sorry, they've joined the 21st Century Confederate Heroes effort. And that's another camp. Now, Ron made a good point a while ago, folks. We got almost 800 camps out there. If even half of those camps would join in this effort, the museum, the Brooks Fund would be well on the way of being paid off. But the most important thing right now, we would have all the funds necessary to redo that plaza. Now, remember, we've got to reestablish that plaza. And we've also got to do some minor work, nothing major, but you know, it's like a plumber coming to your house. Well, it's just a minor leak. Well, you don't leave there about spending $500, $600, $700, $800 there. So you can ask Ron, because he's been playing plumber, fixer all week with his hot water heater there. But anyway, we've got to take care of the equestrian statue, and then we'll go back. That's not the one I'm looking for, but I will be talking about him in a minute. Good try, though, Moose. So anyway, the main thing is, let's get busy. Camps, I'm challenging you to join in this effort. Your camp, if you're a small camp, you can put out up $100, then pay it off in the easy payment plan, $100 here, $50 here. We can get you your streamer. And by the way, Ron, the streamer, we need each camp that joins gets a 21st Century Confederate Hero streamer for their camp flag. We have them on order. We've had, I think, 50 or so that was sent to us, and then with the rest of them are on back order. They may be coming from a slow boat from Tahiti. I don't know, but as soon as they get here, hopefully, especially by the time the reunion gets here, we'll be able to give it to the camp members before they have their flags presented at the reunion. Normally, we have the camp's flags presented on the opening day of the reunion, and I would like to see those streamers given to them for that. What you got, Ron?
I just want to make sure everyone understands that your camp gets a streamer for your flag. You also get the certificate, and you also have the paver and the page and the book for your camp, and a PowerPoint slide that you can advertise and show your camp. You do not get a streamer and a medal. Okay.
Yes,
the streamer is in lieu of the medal. I've had one or two people say, well, my camp got the streamer, but when are we going to get our medal? No, the streamer is in lieu of the medal.
Correct. Thank you for bringing that up and enlightening folks. That is correct. Moose, run through the rest of your pictures you got. I think you had one picture there, I believe, of Richard. Let's see. Okay, there you go. We got some. All right, run on through that. Everybody sees those characters. Come on up to the next character. Okay, there's Garcia and his wife, and that. I think. Move on to the next. All these people were there. Okay, this is one I really want to talk about. This is the Strings of Secession. The last couple of years they've been there, and they've done a great job in entertaining the folks and giving us some musical entertainment during the event. And so I just want just a shout out to them. They did a great job, and I appreciate them. Do we have any more photos of the event?
Not any that we haven't shown already.
Okay. All right. Good enough. All right. Well, Moose, we're at the halfway point. I would like to take a short Pop-Tart break here, and then we'll come back and I'll have Paul Graham to give us a little bit of update on what's going to happen at the Heritage Luncheon coming up. And then Ron and I are going to talk a little bit about a couple of victories we had and some fights that's going on. And then I want to talk a little bit about the the Brooks Fund and what we're planning on doing with that. So if you'll take it away, Harrison, we'll go.
All right. Yes, sir. This episode's commercial break is, of course, sponsored by scvchat.com. If you want to find ways to support us, find more content, be able to watch the pilgrimage soon, watch all of our archived episodes, some of our favorites, watch SCV Chat live on the website, and, of course, always easily find every month's Commander's Comments. Please go check out scvchat.com. And for $10 a month on Patreon, you can support SCV Chat and help us reclaim the narrative 1 week at a time.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Now, folks, every time you see that video, the first thing you should think of is, how do I get my elected official in my area to come on this show and watch that video? Well, you're not going to be able to do that. But I bet every time your camp has an event, let's say you have a cemetery that you decide you're going to clean up and make it pretty for the 4th of July celebration. Or let's say you have a memorial service and you happen to memorialize not only Confederate, but World War I, II, or recent war, Vietnam vets. Then let's take a picture of that event. You can put it on a email, that picture of that event, and with the QR code that we will provide to that video, and send it to every elected official in your county, in your city, and that includes school board. By all means, school board members, let them hear that the Sons of Confederate Veterans is a patriotic organization. We did cleanup, cemetery cleanup, and memorializing American veterans. And by the way, take a look at our video that explains who we are. Folks, that's how you get that message out. And I don't know why it's so difficult. I have people come up to me, and it'll happen at this coming reunion. I'll have somebody come up to me and just pat me on the back and brag about how many tombstones they've cleaned this year. Okay, that's good. But did those dead people, those Confederate veterans laying in that grave, Have you done anything other than polish a stone? Did you do anything that would take that effort, great effort, wonderful effort, hard work that you've done, and turn it into something that will vindicate the cause for which those men suffered and died? If all you do is polish tombstones and go home, then you're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. You've got to take that effort that you're doing, that sweat, that work, and turn it into action so that your elected officials, other members of other civic organizations, such as the Lions Clubs, the Kiwanis Club, let them know, patriotic groups, veterans groups, let them know what you're doing. That way, what you're doing is not only a good deed in that you're cleaning a cemetery or cleaning a tombstone, which is wonderful, absolutely wonderful, but it is absolutely spitting in the wind if you don't take that effort and use it to vindicate the cause for which those men suffered. The same thing with your monuments. If you have a beautiful monument, if you don't tell people why you respect that monument and why that and what that monument is being memorialized about, I guarantee it. And Harrison touched on this last Monday. There are people out there, such as the Southern Poverty Law Center, that would just love and are busy telling the negative side, the neo-Marxist garbage about our ancestors. And you know what? They don't go around polishing tombstones and go home. I'm sorry, folks. If you're going to win, you got to do more than clean a tombstone and then brag about how many tombstones you cleaned up. You've got to turn that action into something that will vindicate the cause for which those Confederate veterans suffered and died and gave so much. For us, they did it for us. So I know I'm probably stepping on some people's toes, but you know, some toes need to be stomped on. If all you're going to do is meet, eat, and retreat and go home, then we're not going to win. If all you do is go to the next meeting, next Tuesday, I will go to my meeting in West Monroe, Louisiana. Y'all come on down. But you know what? It'll be the same 15 to 20 people that meet there every year, every month, year after year. Maybe a new member every now and then as one older member passes away. That is not how we're going to win. We're talking to the same people over and over in West Monroe. Is no way to win Ouachita Parish for the cause of the South. But every time we do a good service, every time we have a memorial service, hey, if next time we have a gun show, and we do gun shows in West Monroe, the next time we do a gun show, we'll take pictures of it, and guess what? Every police juryman, which is our county commissioners, will get a piece of mail with that QR code on there. Every sheriff, every doggone elected judge and district attorney needs to hear from us. In Tennessee, I was talking to a camp commander this past week. They're having trouble in getting parades and being allowed to be part of their community because someone in the Bureau of this, that, and the other has declared them to be a racist organization, that the Sons of Confederate Veterans. Now, we're not talking about Seattle, Washington here. I went back before I talked to this camp commander. I went back and looked at the statistics. The county in Tennessee where this individual is having trouble voted for the presidential candidate, the anti-woke, anti-DEI or DEI candidate for president by almost 82%. 82% of the voters in that county said, we don't like wokeism. We don't like the neo-Marxist attitude about traditional American values. And yet, the Sons of Confederate Veterans are being censored and banned in that county? No. Something is wrong. You're not putting it. Ron, what was it that Ronald Reagan used to say about if you can't get people to see the light?
Say, if people won't see the light, then you have to apply the heat.
All right. Ronald Reagan was correct, folks. We in the Sons of Confederate Veterans must learn how to apply heat in the right place. And sometimes it takes a boot in the butt, but we'll do that too. We have to. We cannot keep on doing what we've done in the past. Now, I'm sorry, I got on my soapbox. Let me get off. I see Paul looking at me frowning because he was supposed to be talking, not me. Sorry,
No,
Paul.
man, you go.
All right. All right. Paul, if you don't mind, give us a little information. We're going to have a heritage banquet as we always do. I think that's Thursday, is it not? Thursday at the reunion in Houston. Yeah. Tell us a little about who's going to be the speaker and what's going on there.
All right. Well, I'm pleased to announce that Commander Carl Jones, will be the speaker. He's the past division commander of the Alabama Division. He's past chief of Heritage Operations, and he's the current commander of the Army of Tennessee. But best of all, he's a longtime defender of America's original constitutional republic. And his topic is camp. Get this, Donnie, you're going to like this. Camp and community involvement.
You know what, Ron and I,
almost like it was planned.
Absolutely. A lot of people will say, "Well, Ron, you and Ron, y'all thought that." No, we're just following in the footsteps of big men like Carl Jones. He's a big man. I always tease him about having to shoot a little 9mm instead of a real man's gun of 45. But other than that, he is a real patriot, and he's a little bit quiet. You might have trouble hearing, but we'll get a PA system for him. Do you think that we'll need that?
Well, if he won't talk into the mic, I'll go up there and stand and put it next to his face.
Hey, Paul, while you edit, I don't know if you can see what I've got on. Can you tell folks what that is?
Huh?
Yeah, we got ours. I don't know where Moose. Where's yours? Moose, don't you know what? Tell everybody what we've got here, Paul.
This is the Confederate Legion, the official Confederate Legion pin that can be yours for a mere $50. Now, and almost all the dues. What's the percentage? Is a large percentage.
Yeah,
goes towards heritage operations, and as we come up on the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, we're going to need warriors, we're going to need money, and we're going to need other things because we're going to make the most of this thing. I'm still learning my place in this thing. You all know this is my first year, and I've never really served in any office of this kind. But I believe that next year I'll have set up what I want to make the very, very most out of the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, which, of course, the point of which was to declare the reasons why they separated from the mother country, much like another group did just, 70 or 80 years later.
Absolutely.
And the Confederate Legion is going to be a force. It's called the God, what do we call ourselves? The action arm of the SCV.
Yes.
So we're going to be not only doing things on the internet and having commercials and other things like that, videos. I've got some other ideas, but this particular topic at the Heritage Luncheon will be a good segue into getting people ready for next year. This is when I went to the 1976 event at Fort Jackson, they had Bob Hope and Minnie Pearl. That tells you about all you need to know. That was 50 years ago. Okay. So, and I was very, very young, I was in I was in probably first or second grade. So this
Wow.
it's coming around, and we won't live to see the next one. So this is a once in a lifetime event that the spirit of 76 and the cause of 1776 can be broadcasted. And when people come to understand that, everything falls into place.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, and we're really going to be hitting on that topic about the 250th anniversary coming up, and what we and the Sons of Confederate Veterans need to do. When we need to get started now, I'm going to be leaning heavy on the guy right over here called Harrison Daws over here for making some videos about this whole event. Ron, can you tell us a little bit about? Give us some update on some victories that you've seen or heard about.
Okay. Well,
and tell us why those victories happen too.
First, I want to acknowledge. I see Derek Thomas Glover has in the comment section, congratulations to our camp commander Jimmy Vincent for landing on the front page of our newspaper this week, promoting our heritage.
Good.
So great. I hope you'll send a copy of that front page to Moose, so Moose, we can show it off next time we do one of these. Sort of put it in your file there. I saw that and I wanted to give a thumbs up, and great going, guys. We need stuff like this going on all over. And the reason is because we can win in the court of public opinion. If we've got the population behind us, we can win these fights. And that's what Donald was talking about. In a county that voted 82% for the conservative candidate in the last election, and yet we are having trouble. They won't even let the SEV march in the parade, a parade that they have marched in year after year after year. All of a sudden, they're trying to censor us. I know in Virginia, there's been a great victory where even though the legislature tried to take away the tax-exempt status, state tax-exempt status from the United Daughters of the Confederacy, the governor vetoed it. Well, listen, that veto just didn't fall out of the sky. These are political actions, and politicians make political estimations, and everything is judged for the political impact they'll have. And the people in Virginia, the Virginia division, has been active in the last 3 or 4 years or more, putting up billboards every April. I mean, they put up 9 this year across the state. There's also been camps in Virginia that's been paying and running, and the Confederate Legion has helped them to put radio ads on in the state. So this is how you get to your politicians. It's very important. The SCV is not a political organization, but we do have the right to advocate for those things that are germane to our charter, and vindicating the cause and preserving our heritage is part of it. Also, Donald and I, on the way back from the pilgrimage and the homecoming this past weekend, we saw not one, but 2 big billboards, and they were supposed to stay up through April, but they stay up until somebody purchases a spot. So here we are a week or so into May, and they're still up. That is so very important. And we're going to do it again next year, and it's going to be more, because Mississippi's going to try to outdo Louisiana next year. And I'm telling you, you're not going to do it, fellas. You're not going to do it. Louisiana's going to beat you just like LSU beats the Rebels. So that's all right.
Oh, man.
All right, Harrison, you got the challenge. But we're going to do it again, and we're going to add stuff, because we'll have the money budgeted, and that's something that the commander will talk about at the National Reunion. There's going to be a line item budget for doing promotional efforts. So we're going to have more than just billboards up next year. So it's going to be very, very important. And one of the things that happened at the pilgrimage was we had a new member come in. He and his wife saw the billboard. They were in Natchez. I'm sorry, Natchez. I meant back to Mississippi. They were in Nashville, almost as important as Natchez. They were in Nashville as a tourist, and they saw the billboards, and they went online, and they found out that there was something going on the weekend, so they came down. He has ancestors that fought, so we started initiating him, going through, getting his membership in. So it does have an impact. Now, it's not going to bring in hundreds and thousands of members in and of itself, but it's part of the effort. Remember, like a person that we don't particularly like, Mao Zedong, but he made this statement, and you got to give the devil his dues, okay? He made the statement that revolutionaries, and that's what we are, folks. We're revolutionaries, really counter-revolutionaries. But he said they're like fish in the water, and as long as the water is cold, fish won't spawn. But once you warm the waters up, the fish will spawn. So we're warming the waters socially, trying to make it more acceptable and understandable about being a Southerner, about being part of the Southern cause. We know that around 80% of Southerners already agree with us, but we haven't got it to the point where they are willing to stand up vocally and fight against those that are trying to destroy our heritage. As we warm the waters with these billboards, with these radio ads, and these gun shows, with all the emails going out to what I call agents of influence, as Donald said, your Kiwanis Club, your Lions Club, your Rotary Club, your Knights of Columbus, your preachers, your priests in your area, all your elected officials. Send them these little quick emails about the events that you do, cleaning up a tombstone, having a heritage luncheon, whatever. Take a quick picture and email that with a 2-line discussion about who you are, and then put that QR code so they can hear that if walls could talk. One other thing, that if walls could talk, is going to have to be redone after July next, because we're going to have that Forest Plaza there. So when that drone comes out to show Elm Springs on the right and the museum on the left, there's going to be that beautiful Forest Plaza with that beautiful equestrian monument of General Forrest. It's going to be beautiful. But that's some of the things that we're going to be doing. I think I've used up my time.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you a lot, Ron. And right quick, I want to get to along those lines. We are currently looking at, and I've asked Adam Southern, our executive director, to give me some information on some local billboards that'll be put up in the Columbia area that we're going to be starting as quickly as we can. Come July, come August, this is after the convention, once our budget has been approved, like Ron said, we're going to have an item set aside in the budget, $5,000 a month for advertising us, promoting us. Now, that don't mean we're going to spend ad money each month on one particular area, but there'll be money available. What we're trying to do is to get people to recognize who we are. One of the things we want to do is to put a billboard up in the Nashville area that advertises our Southern Heritage Center, National Confederate Museum, Elm Spring, and let people know, and then Sons of Confederate Veterans, with our contact information. And the reason why Nashville is becoming a center of a lot of political activity. There's a lot of conservative people podcasters and people of that nature that are there. There's a lot of tourist traps of people coming through there. It's a tourist trap, Nashville now. People go there, and we need to make sure that they understand that down the road, about 45 miles, is a unique museum, and it's run by the Sons of Confederate Veterans. This is one of the things that we'll be doing. And like Ron said earlier, come next April, we're going to do a big way. We're going to push Southern Heritage next April, because we'll have the funds, thanks to you, the membership, who are willing to open their wallets up and join the 21st century, or just make a donation. Some people just say, look, I don't have that, I'll make a $20 donation. Well, you know, if every one of our members would do that, just think how much would go as far as paying off our debts and everything. We still owe ourselves, not the bank, we owe ourselves from the Brooks Fund that we're going to pay back. Now, the Brooks Fund, as I've said many times before, if we do nothing else, I think it's going to be about 10 years, maybe 15 years down the road, that debt will be paid off anyway, and we're paying interest. The Brooks Fund is money that is loaned out to generate interest, and we take that interest to make donations or to send out, make grants for postgraduate medical research. I have been in contact with the chairman of the Brooks Fund committee, Dr. Michael Bergeron, and we're working on a project now of trying to find a means to make sure that people who are doing postgraduate medical research will be aware of who we are, that these funds are available, and what they need to do in order to be granted these research funds. Now, once we grant them that research fund, then we'll get to make a press release talking about the Sons of Confederate Veterans donating, I don't know, 100,000, 500,000 for medical, or even $1 million if we've got it. It's the interest that's being accrued from that Brooks Fund, and it's put there by the family for us to maintain and to use that for medical research. And I am dedicated, before I leave office, to do all in my power to promote the Brooks Fund to as many different organizations and groups, whether it may be a diabetic group. We'll get in touch with them and tell them, look, we've got funds available. Do you have someone doing medical research that might be interested? Here's how they make an application. We can do it to any number of cystic fibrosis. You think of the group of breast cancer. My daughter died of breast cancer. That'd be great to be able to do something like that. We need to be, and we get the publicity, positive publicity for doing that. Plus, we're under a moral obligation to do as the family originally intended for this money to go out. Now, in the past, it has gone out, but after the George Floyd incident, it kind of got a little bit hard to get people to want to take money from a, quote, Confederate group. That is fading away. And as a matter of fact, I'm thinking seriously about sending Robert Kennedy, a letter and inviting him to assist us in finding people who are willing to take the money for postgraduate medical research. And I think Kennedy is he's the type that will do it, I believe. So we'll work on that. So those are things that are in the future. Billboards, postgraduate medical research, pushing the Brook funds out there, making sure that we are fulfilling our obligation to the family that established that for us, as well as to be beneficial to the SCV. Now remember, we pay that off. That money doesn't go sit in a corner at headquarters. It'll be loaned out to somebody else, and we'll draw interest again from them. Right now, we're drawing interest on ourselves. We pay principal and interest every year. Have been doing it for several years now, and we will continue to do that. Now, Ron, I've noticed several people on the feed here talking about, and I wished I had could see them. They passed on the comments, but that they've joined the different camps that have joined the 21st Confederate heroes, and I'm just tickled to death to hear that. Join up. Let's get the camps active. One thing in closing, I want to encourage every camp, every SCV camp out there, all 820 of you, how many's out there. Every camp needs to have a heritage ops individual, an individual that looks at every meeting. He'll look and say, we've got from the chief of the heritage operation this business and this business that he wants the camp to be involved in. This is what we need to do. So I want you to get busy every camp. And if you don't want to elect a separate heritage op, then it could come under the office of, say, your second lieutenant commander. If you got a first lieutenant commander, second lieutenant commander, appoint him also your heritage operation. And let's be sure. Now, here's another thing. In September, I don't have the date right now, but in September, we will be having a Confederate Legion. Ron, tell them just a little bit about, we're running late. We'll tell a little bit about the Confederate Legion training camp that we're going to have that you and Paul and myself will be putting on.
Well, we're running out of time, but it will be a training session. We'll start at 9 o'clock, be through by 3:30. It's going to be at Elm Springs. We're trying to go around in different places in the Confederation and do this. What we're trying to do is get a cadre of people so that every camp has a Confederate Legion officer who knows exactly what to do, a heritage ops officer who knows what to do and how to get in contact. I mean, a lot of people, well, how do I contact my representatives? Or how do I make use of the one-click politics for the state legislature? These are the kind of things. And what kind of ads do you have available for me? How do I download them? It's a how-to workshop. It's not where we get together and listen to the commander-in-chief pontificate.
As much as he'd like to.
Workshop.
That would never happen there.
But at any rate, it will be in September, and be looking for your Confederate Legion newsletter. We're going to try to get one out before the end of May. I'm also the editor of the newsletter, so among my other unassigned and assigned tasks, I'll try to get that done. I see Andrew Luck is telling us that we've got some billboards available at various spots north and south. And again, we don't have to put these billboards exactly in the middle of Nashville. If we can, I'd like to put one of those lighted signs up in the middle of Nashville, because remember, it's not just the people who will be coming in from all over the world to Nashville, Tennessee, but it's also the local politicians, especially state politicians, not necessarily the city. I know the city is sort of going in more woke every day, it seems like, but also the country and Western music folks who used to be strong. Remember Leonard Skinner? Huh? How many people remember? Now, they probably don't remember Leonard Skinner. He used to, boy, and all
Southern rock was a big thing. It was a big thing in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, and they were all very proud Southerners. So we're trying to get that back into play, and you can do that doing stuff like this. So thank you, Andrew, for that information. We're going to be really busy come after July National Reunion.
Okay, I appreciate everybody. We're running late, so let's ease on out of here. But I do appreciate everybody listening, and I appreciate folks take this meeting here, this video, share it on your social media. As I go from place to place, and Moose, I'm sorry, I was wanting to get you to talk a little bit about the social media. We'll do that the next time. As we go from place to place, I try to tell people, if the SEV, if its members and if their friends would just use social media with the videos at Moose, yes, I see that. We're going to give those out. Ron's holding up his pamphlet he wants everybody to have. If we just utilize our social media, whether it's Facebook, X, Twitter, whatever, we could reach millions of people at zero cost to the SCV. So and Harrison Daws he'll be producing soon some more videos that we can post and put on our social media. The videos will parallel the radio ads. For every 2 months, the Confederate Legion has a new series of radio ads that we're pushing, and you can use any of them, but we're going to try to have a video to go along with that, so you can put it on your social media and then take the radio ad down to your local station. $100, $200, $300, buy some ads there on your radio station. Well, with that said, and I'm running out of time, Harrison Daws, our main man in this effort of communication and media, take us out of here, sir. And I appreciate all that you're doing, Harrison. You are doing a great job helping the SCB and making all this possible. Thank you a lot.
Thank you very much, Commander. And as Commander Kennedy said, please share this out to as many camps, brigades, divisions, armies, or any other SCV groups you can find out there, and let them know what we're doing at the national level. And I guess without any further ado, stay Southern, everybody.
Amen. Thank y'all.